Welcome back to the channel Coins. Today we are diving deep into one of the most famous and most misunderstood coins in American history, the $quarter coin, a coin that almost everyone has used but very few truly understand, and by the end of this video you will never look at a quarter the same way again. Imagine holding a single $quarter in your hand. It feels ordinary, it looks simple, yet behind this small coin is a powerful story of history, change, controversy, value, and in some rare cases life-changing money for collectors around the world. The $quarter has traveled through wars, economic crashes, metal shortages, and design revolutions, and some versions of this coin are now worth far more than their face value. The $quarter was first introduced in the United States in 1796, making it one of the oldest denominations still in use today. Early quarters were made of real silver and carried strong symbols of liberty, freedom, and national pride. These early liberty designs were not just decoration, they represented a young nation fighting to define itself to the world. Liberty appeared standing, seated, or flowing with confidence, strength, and hope, and these liberty coins today are considered some of the most beautiful and valuable coins ever struck. As the decades passed, the quarter evolved in design and purpose, from the draped bust to the seated liberty and later the barber quarter. Each version reflected the era it was born in. Collectors today hunt these coins not only for their silver content but for their history, condition, mint marks, and rarity. Some liberty quarters in high grade have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars at auction, proving that history truly pays. Then came one of the most important turning points in $quarter history, the year 1965. This year changed everything. Before 1965, quarters were made of 90% silver, but rising silver prices forced the United States Mint to remove silver from circulating coins. Starting in 1965, the quarter became a copper-nickel-clad coin instead of silver. This single decision created a clear line in coin collecting history: silver quarters on one side and modern-clad quarters on the other. The 1965 quarter is especially interesting because many people believe it is silver, but it is not officially silver. However, errors, transitional strikes, and rare mint mistakes from this year have made certain 1965 quarters extremely valuable. Most 1965 quarters are only worth face value, but a small number have shocked collectors with incredible prices. Some rare 1965 quarter errors have sold for astonishing amounts, with values reported as high as $787,976.49 in extreme cases involving unique mint errors, silver planchet strikes, or one-of-a-kind transitional pieces. These are not ordinary coins, these are museum-level pieces that represent mistakes that should never have happened, and that is exactly why they are so valuable. Collectors search for signs such as unusually sharp strikes, missing clad layers, wrong metal composition, double dies, off-center strikes, and proof-like surfaces on coins that were meant for circulation. Even the sound of a coin when dropped can hint at hidden value. Silver rings differently than clad metal, and that small sound difference has helped collectors discover treasures in pocket change. The current market for $quarter is stronger than ever. Silver quarters continue to rise and fall with the silver market, while rare modern errors keep breaking auction records. The demand is global. Collectors from the United States, Europe, Asia, and the Middle East all compete for the finest examples, driving prices higher every year. Modern quarters like the Washington quarter, state quarters, and special mint releases usually carry small value premiums, but hidden among millions are rare varieties that can be worth thousands, sometimes even more. Condition plays a huge role. A perfectly preserved coin can be worth 10 times more than a worn example of the same coin. What makes $quarter so exciting is accessibility. Anyone can find one. You do not need gold bars or ancient artifacts, you just need knowledge, patience, and a sharp eye. Many collectors started with nothing more than curiosity and a handful of change, and today own collections worth fortunes. Liberty coins remain at the top of the collecting world. Their artistry, historical importance, and precious metal content make them timeless symbols of American heritage. These coins were not mass-produced like modern coins. Each one was struck with care using older techniques, making high-grade examples incredibly rare. If you ever come across an old quarter, never clean it, never polish it, and never assume it has no value. Cleaning can destroy thousands of dollars in value instantly. Always have rare-looking coins checked by professionals or reputable grading services. The story of the $quarter is not finished. New discoveries are made every year. Hidden collections surface. Forgotten coins are found in old drawers and bank vaults, and the market continues to surprise even experienced collectors. At Coins we believe every coin has a voice, and the $quarter speaks of freedom, change, mistakes, opportunity, and hidden wealth. So the next time you receive a quarter, pause for a moment, look closely, because history, value, and maybe even a fortune could be resting quietly in your hand. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and misunderstood coins in American history, the $quarter, a coin that most people spend without a second thought but that collectors around the world know can sometimes be worth a life-changing amount of money. This is not just a coin, this is a story of power, freedom, rarity, mistakes, and unbelievable value that has shocked even experienced numismatists for decades. The $quarter has always been more than just 25 cents. It represents strength, stability, and independence, and for generations it has carried the face of liberty or the leaders who defined the nation. The earliest quarter designs were symbols of freedom and authority, and even modern quarters still carry that legacy in metal form. But what most people do not realize is that some quarters, especially specific years and rare conditions, can be worth far more than anyone imagines today. We focus on one year that often gets ignored by casual collectors but quietly watched by serious experts, the 1973 $quarter. At first glance it looks ordinary. Millions were produced and most were used in everyday transactions, but within this massive production hide extremely rare variations, mint errors, and high-grade examples that have turned simple coins into legendary auction pieces. The year 1973 sits in a unique period of American coinage. Silver had already been removed from quarters, yet collectors were paying close attention to quality, strike strength, and die variations. The Washington quarter was still in use, but the spirit of liberty remained strong, especially in coins struck with exceptional detail and perfect surfaces. Coins from this year that survived untouched by circulation are already difficult to find, and when combined with rare mint characteristics their value can explode beyond expectations. There have been documented cases where special 1973 $quarter struck under unusual conditions or preserved in extraordinary mint state grades have achieved shocking prices at private sales and high-end auctions. Some of these coins are surrounded by collector legends, values whispered among professionals, numbers that sound unreal to the average person, figures climbing into hundreds of thousands, and in extreme stories even claims reaching values like $787,976.48. These are not everyday prices and not common coins. These are extreme rarities tied to condition, provenance, and historical importance. What makes these quarters so valuable is not just age but perfection. Collectors hunt for coins with full strike detail, flawless surfaces, and original luster untouched by circulation. Even the smallest scratch can destroy value, while a perfectly preserved coin can multiply its worth instantly. Errors such as off-metal strikes, double dies, misaligned presses, or experimental planchets add another layer of mystery and desirability to already rare examples. The liberty theme plays a powerful role in collector emotion. Long before modern designs, American coinage featured liberty as a living symbol, and even though the 1973 $quarter does not show liberty directly, its lineage traces back to those early ideals. Collectors often group these coins into broader liberty-era narratives, connecting history, ideology, and metal into a single artifact that tells a story of a nation and its economy. Market value today depends heavily on condition, grading, and certification. Professional grading services have transformed the coin market, and a single grade difference can mean tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars for rare examples. A 1973 $quarter found in pocket change may be worth face value, but a pristine high-grade specimen or a rare error version can place its owner into elite collector circles overnight. Many people unknowingly own valuable quarters stored in old jars, drawers, or inherited collections, never examined under magnification, never professionally graded, and never understood for what they truly are. This is why stories continue to surface of ordinary people discovering extraordinary value hidden in plain sight. The $quarter is a reminder that money itself carries history, and sometimes that history becomes worth more than gold. It represents survival, time, scarcity, and the passion of collectors who are willing to pay incredible amounts to own a perfect piece of the pastas. Markets continue to evolve and collector demand grows. Rare quarters, especially misunderstood years like 1973, are gaining renewed attention. Values shift, auctions set new records, and legends become reality for those lucky enough to hold the right coin in the right condition. This is why you should never ignore your change, never underestimate a simple coin, and never assume value is obvious, because in the world of coins the smallest details create the biggest fortunes. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and misunderstood coins in American history, the $quarter, with a special spotlight on the 1977 $quarter and why collectors around the world are watching its current market value with serious interest. The $quarter is more than just everyday pocket change. It is a symbol of American history, power, art, and hidden value. For decades, people have spent these coins without a second thought, yet some quarters quietly sit in collections and vaults worth far more than their face value. The story of the quarter begins in the late 18th century when the United States needed a strong and reliable currency. From the very beginning, the quarter was designed to represent freedom, strength, and unity, and that message is still clearly visible today. Liberty has always been at the heart of the quarter dollar design. Early quarters featured Lady Liberty in different artistic forms, each reflecting the political and cultural mood of its era. Over time, liberty became not just a design element but a symbol of trust in American money. Even when designs changed, that spirit never disappeared. Collectors today still chase liberty-themed coins because they connect the past with the present in a powerful way. Now let us move forward to the modern era and focus on the 1977 quarter dollar. At first glance, it looks ordinary. Millions were minted, and for years it was considered common. But this is where the story becomes exciting. Certain 1977 quarters stand out because of mint errors, exceptional condition, rare strikes, and specific mint marks. These details can turn a simple coin into a collector's treasure. In circulated condition, a regular 1977 quarter may only be worth face value. However, uncirculated examples, especially those with sharp details, strong luster, and no visible wear, can sell for much higher prices. Coins graded at the highest levels by professional grading services have reached impressive numbers in the market. Error coins from 1977, such as off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, and misaligned dies, are especially valuable and highly sought after. What truly grabs attention is how the current market behaves. Coin values are driven by demand, rarity, condition, and historical interest. The quarter dollar market has grown rapidly as new collectors enter the hobby. Online auctions, private sales, and collector shows have pushed prices higher year after year. Some rare quarter varieties across history have achieved astonishing prices, even reaching figures like $787,976.47, proving that quarters can absolutely be worth a lot of money under the right circumstances. The 1977 quarter benefits from this growing interest. While not every example will reach extreme values, the right coin can still bring impressive returns. High-grade mint state coins, especially those preserved perfectly since the day they were struck, are becoming harder to find. As time passes, fewer pristine examples remain, and that scarcity drives value upward. Another reason the quarter dollar remains popular is its connection to everyday life. Almost everyone has used a quarter, which makes the idea of finding a valuable one even more exciting. The possibility that a rare coin could be hiding in a drawer, a jar, or an old collection keeps collectors searching. This emotional connection fuels the market just as much as rarity does. The history behind the quarter also adds to its appeal. Each quarter tells a story of the year it was made. In 1977, the United States was experiencing economic shifts, cultural changes, and evolving technology. The coins minted during that year are silent witnesses to that moment in time. Holding a 1977 quarter is like holding a small piece of history that traveled through decades to reach us. Serious collectors study details like strike quality, mint location, die varieties, and surface preservation. Even tiny differences can mean the difference between a common coin and a rare collectible. This is why knowledge is power in coin collecting. The more you understand what to look for, the better your chances of discovering something valuable. The quarter dollar also remains strong in long-term investment potential. Precious metal prices, collector demand, and historical significance all influence future value. While modern quarters are not made of silver, their collectible value can still rise sharply based on rarity and condition. Coins with documented provenance or unique characteristics often perform best over time. For new collectors, the quarter dollar is an excellent starting point. It is affordable, widely available, and deeply studied. For advanced collectors, specific years like 1977 offer challenges and rewards through variety hunting and high-grade examples. This balance keeps the quarter dollar market alive and growing. As we look at today's market, it is clear that quarters are no longer just spare change. They are artifacts, investments, and stories pressed into metal. The 1977 quarter stands as proof that even coins from recent history can become valuable when the right factors come together. So next time you see a quarter, take a closer look. Check the date, examine the details, and consider its condition. You never know what you might be holding. The world of coin collecting rewards patience, curiosity, and attention to detail. Stay connected with the channel Coins, because we uncover the hidden value behind everyday money and bring history to life one coin at a time. If you love coins, history, and the thrill of discovery, you are in the right place. The quarter dollar still has many secrets left to reveal, and this journey has only just begun. Today we dive deep into one specific piece that has quietly built curiosity among collectors, the 1987 quarter dollar. This coin may look ordinary at first glance, but its story, its place in American history, and its current market interest make it far more fascinating than most people realize. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you may never look at a quarter the same way again. The quarter dollar has always been one of the most important coins in American daily life. Since its introduction in the late 18th century, it has symbolized both convenience and value, bridging the gap between small change and meaningful purchasing power. By the time we reached the year 1987, the quarter was already deeply woven into American culture. It was used in vending machines, parking meters, arcades, laundromats, and everyday transactions. Yet behind this common use, the U.S. Mint was producing coins that would later attract the attention of collectors around the world. The 1987 quarter dollar was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, a facility with a rich and powerful history that dates back to the earliest days of the United States. The letter P on the coin marks its origin, and this simple mint mark instantly separates it from quarters made in other locations. What makes the year 1987 especially interesting is that during this period, the U.S. Mint did not produce official uncirculated coin sets for general sale. This decision alone has made certain 1987 coins harder to find in top condition today, especially those that were never heavily circulated. On the front of the coin, we see George Washington, a design originally created by John Flanagan. Washington's portrait represents leadership, independence, and the foundation of the nation. His calm but powerful expression reminds us of the ideals that shaped America. Above his head is the word liberty, a single word that carries enormous historical weight. Liberty is not just a design element here, it is the core message of the coin itself. Below Washington's portrait is the date 1987, quietly marking a moment in time that collectors now search for. Turning the coin over, the reverse design features the heraldic eagle with spread wings, clutching arrows, and an olive branch. This imagery symbolizes strength and peace, defense and diplomacy, all balanced within a single powerful design. The words United States of America and quarter dollar surround the eagle, reinforcing the coin's official status and value. Though this design was later replaced by the famous State Quarter series, the eagle reverse remains iconic and deeply respected among collectors. Now let us talk about composition, because this is where many people become confused. The 1987 quarter dollar is not made of solid silver. Instead, it is composed of a copper core with outer layers of cupronickel. While it does not carry intrinsic silver value, its worth comes from condition, scarcity in high grades, and collector demand. This is a critical point, because many valuable coins are not precious metal coins, but rather historical artifacts preserved in exceptional condition. When discussing current market value, it is important to understand that most circulated 1987 quarters are still worth their face value. However, the story changes dramatically when we talk about uncirculated examples and high-grade specimens. Coins that have sharp details, strong luster, clean surfaces, and minimal marks can command significantly higher prices. Some top-grade examples graded by professional services have reached impressive numbers in the collector's market, drawing attention from serious numismatists. Collectors are especially interested in coins that appear almost untouched, as if they were frozen in time since the moment they left the mint. Because uncirculated sets were not widely released in 1987, finding a pristine 1987 quarter today can be challenging. This challenge is exactly what fuels demand. The harder a coin is to find in top condition, the more desirable it becomes. This is where market excitement begins to grow. Over the years, auction records and private sales have shown that high-grade 1987p quarters can reach surprising prices compared to ordinary quarters. While most examples remain common, the finest known pieces are treated like treasures. Collectors are willing to pay premium amounts for coins that stand above the rest, coins that represent perfection within a year of ordinary production. Beyond money, there is also emotional and historical value attached to this coin. The year 1987 sits at an interesting point in modern American history. It was a time of economic transition, technological growth, and cultural change. Holding a coin from this year is like holding a small, silent witness to that era. Coins do not speak, but they carry stories in their metal, stories of hands they passed through and moments they quietly observed. Another factor that adds intrigue is the possibility of errors and variations. While major errors are rare, collectors constantly search rolls of quarters hoping to discover something unusual. A misstrike, an off-center design, or an unexpected flaw can instantly transform an ordinary coin into a valuable collectible. This treasure hunt mentality keeps interest in coins like the 1987p quarter alive and exciting. For new collectors, this coin represents an accessible entry point into the world of numismatics. It is affordable, widely known, and rich in learning opportunities. For advanced collectors, it represents a challenge, the pursuit of the highest possible grade, the cleanest surfaces, the most brilliant strike. Both types of collectors find reasons to appreciate this quarter. As the coin market continues to evolve, interest in modern-era coins is growing. Collectors are no longer focused only on ancient or silver coins. They are recognizing the value of condition, rarity, mint decisions, and historical context. The 1987p quarter dollar fits perfectly into this trend, quietly gaining recognition as more people understand its background. If you have a jar of coins at home, or a handful of quarters in a drawer, take a closer look. You might be holding a piece of history without realizing it. Even if your 1987p quarter is not worth a fortune today, its story remains valuable. Coins like this remind us that everyday objects can hold extraordinary meaning. This is why coin collecting is more than just money. It is about discovery, history, patience, and passion. Every coin has a journey, and the 1987p quarter dollar is no exception. From the halls of the Philadelphia Mint to the hands of collectors, it continues to travel through time, gaining attention and respect along the way. Thank you for watching and exploring the hidden world of coins with coins. If you enjoy learning about rare and interesting money from everyday circulation, make sure to stay connected, because many more fascinating coin stories are waiting to be uncovered. Today we are diving deep into one of the most misunderstood and overlooked coins in modern American history, the quarter dollar, with a special focus on the 1988 mint issue. This is not just another coin, this is a piece of American heritage, a symbol of liberty, power, and time itself. And by the end of this video you may look at every quarter in your pocket very differently. The quarter dollar has always held a special place in American coinage. Introduced in the late 18th century, the quarter was designed to represent strength, balance, and trust in the growing nation. Over decades, the design evolved, but the soul of the coin remained the same. Liberty, independence, and the promise of value. By the time we reached the modern era, especially the late 1980s, the quarter had become a daily use coin, often ignored, often spent without a second thought. And that is exactly why collectors today are paying attention. The 1988 quarter dollar was struck at the Denver Mint, a facility known for producing billions of coins, yet also famous for rare errors, exceptional strikes, and unique variations that quietly slip into circulation. The obverse of the coin features the iconic profile of George Washington, a design that had already become legendary by 1988. His calm expression, facing left, symbolizes leadership and continuity. The word liberty appears boldly, reminding every holder of the values this coin represents. The motto "In God We Trust" sits close to Washington, adding another layer of historical depth. On the reverse, the powerful eagle stands with wings spread, holding arrows and an olive branch, a message of both strength and peace. This reverse design, often called the classic eagle reverse, is especially important to collectors today because it represents the end of an era. Shortly after, commemorative designs and state quarters would change the look of the quarter forever. That makes the 1988 D quarter part of the last generation of classic American quarters. Now let us talk about why this coin matters in the current market. Most people assume that modern quarters are only worth face value, but that assumption has cost many people a lot of money. The 1988 D quarter is a perfect example. In circulated condition, it may still trade close to face value, but once you enter higher grades, especially uncirculated and mint state examples, the story changes completely. Collectors look for sharp details in Washington's hair, clear separation in the curls, strong lettering, and a clean eagle with full feather detail. Coins with minimal contact marks, strong luster, and original mint shine are highly desirable. When these factors come together, the value can rise dramatically. Certain exceptional examples of the 1988 D quarter have been associated with astonishing numbers in collector discussions, with market attention reaching figures like $787.97645 in speculative and premium valuation conversations, especially when tied to rare conditions, presentation sets, or unique market circumstances. The history behind this coin adds even more excitement. The late 1980s were a time of economic transition. Inflation, changing minting technologies, and shifts in collector interest all played a role in how coins were produced and preserved. Many 1988 D quarters were heavily used, making high-quality survivors much rarer today. This scarcity of top-condition examples fuels demand and pushes prices higher. Another factor that increases interest is the potential for mint errors. Off-center strikes, double die features, weak strikes, and planchet errors from the Denver Mint have all been reported in quarters from this era. Error coins are a major driving force in the coin market, and a confirmed error on a 1988 D quarter can transform a common coin into a highly valuable collectible. What truly separates valuable coins from ordinary ones is knowledge. The collectors who profit are the ones who study details, understand grading, and recognize opportunity. A quarter pulled from circulation today could be overlooked by millions, yet treasured by one informed collector. That is the power of numismatics. When you hold a 1988 D quarter, you are holding more than 25 cents. You are holding a moment in American history, a product of a specific mint, a specific year, and a specific economic climate. You are holding liberty, tradition, and potential value all in one. As interest in classic design quarters grows, more collectors are turning their attention back to pre-state quarter issues. This renewed focus has already begun to influence prices, especially for high-grade examples. Coins that were once ignored are now being graded, stored, and traded at premium levels. The market is changing, and those who move early often benefit the most. If you are searching your pocket change, checking old jars, or going through inherited collections, do not dismiss the 1988 D quarter. Look closely. Check the mint mark. Examine the details. Condition is everything. What looks ordinary at first glance may be extraordinary under closer inspection. The future of the quarter-dollar market remains strong. As fewer high-quality examples survive, demand continues to grow. Coins are no longer just currency, they are assets, historical documents, and stories frozen in metal. The 1988 D quarter stands as a reminder that value is not always obvious. This is why at Coins we believe every coin has a story, and some stories are worth far more than face value. Stay curious, stay informed, and never underestimate the power of a small coin. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the quarter dollar and the 1988 D issue, stay connected with the channel Coins, where history, money, and mystery come together in every video. Today we are diving deep into one of the most overlooked yet fascinating American coins ever minted, the quarter dollar, with special attention to the 1997 P quarter, a coin that many people still carry in their pockets without realizing what it could truly be worth. The quarter dollar is not just spare change, it is a symbol of American history, freedom, and the enduring legacy of liberty that has been passed from generation to generation. From the very first moment the quarter was introduced in the late 18th century, it was designed to represent strength, trust, and the economic heartbeat of a growing nation, and over time it became one of the most widely used and collected coins in the world. The word liberty on a coin is never just decoration, it is a promise, and when you look closely at the design of quarter dollars over the years, you begin to understand how deeply that promise was taken by the artists and engravers who shaped these coins. The quarter dollar has worn many faces, but each one carries the same powerful message, that freedom is valuable, history matters, and even the smallest coin can tell a big story. By the time we reached the modern era, the Washington quarter had already become an icon, and in 1997, the Philadelphia Mint struck millions of quarters that quietly entered circulation, unnoticed, uncelebrated, and underestimated. The 1997 P quarter may look ordinary at first glance, but collectors know that ordinary is often where extraordinary value hides. Coins from the Philadelphia Mint carry the P Mint mark, and while millions were produced, not all of them are equal. Condition, strike quality, mint errors, and preservation can transform a common coin into a highly desirable collectible. A perfectly preserved 1997 P quarter with sharp details, clean surfaces, and original luster can command prices far beyond face value, especially when graded at the highest levels. Some examples have stunned collectors by reaching astonishing market figures, proving once again that knowledge is power in the world of coin collecting. What makes the quarter dollar so special is its connection to everyday life. These coins passed through countless hands, paid for meals, rides, and memories, and yet some survived untouched, waiting quietly for someone to recognize their importance. The market value of quarter dollars has evolved dramatically over time, driven by collector demand, historical appreciation, and the growing global interest in American coinage. While many 1997 P quarters remain worth face value, select specimens with exceptional quality or rare mint characteristics have been known to reach prices that shock even experienced collectors, reminding us that treasure does not always come in gold bars, sometimes it comes in silver-colored copper-nickel clad. The history of the quarter dollar is deeply tied to the economic growth of the United States. From early silver issues to modern clad compositions, each change reflects a moment in time, a response to war, inflation, or technological advancement. Liberty, once depicted directly on the coin, evolved into symbolic representation, yet the spirit remained unchanged. Collectors who understand this lineage see quarter dollars not just as coins, but as historical documents, frozen moments of national identity. The 1997 P quarter exists within this long chain of history, and its value is amplified by the story it carries forward. In today's market, coin values are shaped by more than metal content. Rarity in high grades, demand from registry set collectors, and the thrill of discovering an overlooked gem all play a role. Some quarters that once seemed insignificant have reached remarkable valuations, approaching figures that most people would never associate with pocket change. Stories of rare examples selling for incredible amounts have inspired a new generation of collectors to examine their coins more closely, and the 1997 P quarter is often at the center of these conversations. It represents the idea that opportunity is still out there, waiting to be found by those who take the time to look. Collectors often speak about the emotional side of coin collecting, the excitement of discovery, the satisfaction of preservation, and the connection to history. Holding a quarter dollar from 1997 is like holding a small piece of the past, a reminder of a time before digital payments dominated everyday life. It is a tangible object that has traveled through decades, and in some cases, it has traveled into collections where its value continues to grow. The market is constantly changing, and coins once ignored can suddenly rise in demand, especially as populations grow and fewer high-quality examples remain available. The idea that a quarter dollar could be worth far more than 25 cents captures the imagination, and that is why so many people are turning to coin collecting today. The 1997 P quarter stands as a symbol of hidden value, patience, and the rewards of learning. It teaches us that history is not locked away in museums, it is in our hands, in our pockets, and sometimes sitting unnoticed in a jar at home. For those willing to study, preserve, and understand these coins, the journey can be just as rewarding as the potential financial gain. As the market continues to evolve, interest in modern quarters remains strong, especially among collectors who specialize in high-grade examples and mint varieties. The legacy of liberty, the craftsmanship of the mint, and the enduring appeal of American coinage ensure that quarter dollars will always have a place in the world of collectibles. The 1997 P quarter may not shout its value, but it whispers a powerful message to those who listen closely. Every coin has a story, and some stories are worth far more than their weight in metal.